Hello, everyone. This is Professor Maloney, and today is July the 12th, so it's the day before our next class. You'll be seeing this video in class on July the 13th. This video is going to be a demonstration of 32 tasks, demonstrating the 4 modules of training for Microsoft Access at our MindTap class website. All right. I had created a video that I played in class on Monday the 11th, but that one I had created 3 or 4 months back. I don't normally do that, but I mentioned to you with Excel when I did the overview video, not a MindTap video, but overview, that I did the same thing there, where because that material is just generic in terms of me explaining what happens, it's just too much work to create new videos for those. But I always create new training videos and always create new project demonstration videos for each module that I'm working with. As you also know, of course, Microsoft Access, you are not responsible for doing any projects. In fact, there are no projects listed, and that's because I took Microsoft Access projects out of MindTap when we went to the COVID-19 protocols back in March of 2020, because people with a Mac, although they can download Office for the Mac on their iPads or on their Apple computers, they cannot, as part of that download, get Microsoft Access, and that's not anything other than it's a business decision, and Microsoft and Apple could not come to an agreement as to how much Apple would pay Microsoft for to allow them to include Microsoft Access on Apple products. Okay, obviously, Office for the Mac you can download on any Apple device that you have, and if you've done so, you know that Excel downloads. Microsoft Word downloads and PowerPoint downloads. They just couldn't come to an agreement on access. All right. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is do what I always do. I'm going to just go on. Actually, I've already pulled MindTap up. So I'm going to go over to MindTap, and I'm going to demonstrate the first 8 tasks for each of those 4 modules. So again, I'll be doing a demonstration of 32 tasks. During class, you're always allowed to ask me any for help on any task, right? Tasks. You're not allowed to ask for help on projects. I've mentioned that many times. But again, Access doesn't have projects. So make sure to ask me in class, if you have questions about any given task, right? You can also, of course, email me. You can show up for the office hour session, which nobody ever shows up for. Last night I was sitting there again. And I always say I sit there 15 minutes. I probably sit there 20 or 25 minutes. But if nobody's going to show up, then obviously I'm not going to stay there. So again, if you have questions you don't want to ask in class, then make sure that you're around for the 8:40 to 9:50 office hour, the optional office hour session. But I will only be there from 8:40 to approximately 8:55 unless there are students there asking me questions. Even one student. If one student's there and he or she is asking me questions, fine, I'll stay till 9:30 or 9:40, whatever. But if there's nobody there, there's no reason for me to sit there. All right, here we go. So I'm going to take away the camera off me, share my screen. Now, I hope you learned a lot from the 114-minute Microsoft Access overview video that I did, which is in here, right? So if you go to your class course videos created by Professor Maloney link, you'll see that for Microsoft Access, right now I only have the Access Database Build demonstration video. This is that 114-minute video that I played in class on day 6, which was Monday, July the 11th. Okay, so if you missed class or you came in late, you owe it to yourself to play this video, even though it's long, it's very lengthy, but there's a lot of material. I mean, a ton of material that I was trying to demonstrate, so you can go back and forth on it if you need to, right? If you need to. And also remember that when you're over here in MindTap, if you're one of the quite a few students that didn't do your Excel projects, Remember, your Excel exam is tomorrow. Well, it's today because I'm basing it on when you're watching this. So it's tonight at 7:30 p.m. I'm going to say tonight at 7:30 p.m. because you're going to be watching this video, my Microsoft Access MindTap demonstration video, on Wednesday the 13th at about 5:20 to about 6:20 or 6:30. Okay, all right. But so if you didn't do any of the trainings and the projects for Excel, yeah, they're available until 5/19, but they have the L. I don't like to talk about the L. The L means there's a late submission allowed. And you can see as I hover on this first one here that you can submit it late up until 5:19 p.m. on July the 20th. But I don't want you to do that. I want you to submit it on time, because why lose 20% on up your work, you know? So try to do things on time. And for the final reminder, just in case, well, you won't see this unfortunately until class starts, but I mentioned this in class yesterday too, that Word, yes, it was all due on the 6th, but here now is the 7th day, the 13th at 5:19 p.m. It's no longer available. So you can't start it on the 13th at 5:18 and think you're going to get to do it for an hour or two. You get exactly, well, you get less than 1 minute, because once 5:19 on July 13th rolls around, this L will disappear, and your access to, well, let's not say the training, your access to the project, although it'll also apply to the training, your access to the projects will have gone. Okay, and I will not open them up because I've already given you 7 full days to make things up if you didn't do it. All right, anyway. So let's go in. Let me collapse all first. So collapse all and go into Access. And you know Access, the exam is 1 week from tonight. Again, tonight meaning July 13th. So on July the 20th is when you have the Microsoft Access exam. But let me also point out to you that tonight, the 13th, if I go up here to PowerPoint, you'll see that PowerPoint is available. Okay, training, right now it's saying edit because it's not live, but if I click this button here, which you guys don't need to see, it tells you it unlocks on the 13th, right? Which is what? Today. Today is the 13th, even though today is really the 12th. All right, anyway, collapse all again, go to Access. All right, so I'm going to go to training for Access Module 1. One person so far has done it, and it's been available for a whole week, and only one person has done it. Congratulations to him or her. All right, so and also, as I mentioned in class a few times, there are 144, maybe 145 or 146 tasks for Access. It's the most tasks thus far, okay? And then when we get to PowerPoint, it will then be the most thus far. Started with Windows 10 at 21, Word had 126, Excel had 130 something, Access 140 something, and PowerPoint 150 something. All right. I'm just going to do this video so that I don't have to spend too much time on it. But remember, if you need help on any of this, you can ask me, but also watch the video and watch it again, a couple times if you need to, that is. The Microsoft Access demonstration build, the 114-minute video, which is in the course videos created by Professor Maloney, link in the class in Blackboard. All right, so start Access. Well, so of course we just go down to our start button. And there's Access, there's Access. So this is the A through Z down here, A through Z sort order. Your computer may look differently up here. It may or may not, but either way, it doesn't matter. If you see Access, you can click it there. If you don't see it there, then go down to the sort list and you will see it there. Okay, so click A for Access, it's done. All right, now, so in this screenshot here, or this, again, it's a virtual machine, as you know now. So we're on a virtual machine. So regardless of whether you're on a Mac or you're on a Chromebook or you're on a Windows computer, when you pull this, you know, when you're doing this training for task 2, this is emulating being in 365 Pro Plus, Office 365 Pro Plus. And so they've already clicked the file button for us. And what they want us to do is create a new database. So these are some of the things we can do in creating a new database. Normally you do a blank database. And then these other things here are some templates, okay? And then if they wanted a specific search, it could be by database, by business, by logs, industry, lists, etc. Okay? So they said create a new database from the contacts template. Well, here's contacts, and this is a template, so click it. All right, so that's clicked. Now it says name it contacts and save it in the default folder location. So the default folder location is right here. It's the documents folder. That's what almost all Microsoft Office applications use, the documents folder on the computer as the default folder location. So we don't have to change it. But what we have to do is put the word contacts there as the file name. So obviously I have to save it, right? So let's see if I can't move that one. So first I have to create the application, but you see here database 1 is in, it's sort of like it's selected where I can play around with it. So I'm just going to click it like that. I can delete that or just type. They want me to call it contacts. I don't need to type .accdb because it will save as a Microsoft Access database, which has an automatic file extension added to it of .accdb. So when you're asked to do something like this, you just type the name of the, in this case, the database, contacts, and it's already in document, so we just click create. All right, done. All right, next one. Number 3 in module 1, create a new table using table datasheet view with the following fields and data types and in the following order. ID, and this will be done automatically, so we don't need to do it, but they're letting you know that it is automatically added by Access. Comment date we'll have to add, and they want that one as date and time. That's the data type. Comments we'll have to add as a field, and it's going to be long text data type. And then we're going to save the table with the name client comments. All right, so we go to create, and we want table using table datasheet view. So there's 3 things for tables, but 2 are obvious tables. The first one says table, that's table datasheet view. So this is the one we want. The next one is table design. This is the one I normally use personally. And SharePoint lists are if you're using SharePoint, which is another Microsoft product. And Microsoft SharePoint lists are technically tables. But so this is one we have to click right here for this particular one. All right, so table datasheet view. All right, so once I clicked that, we now have a new table. All right, it's going to be called table 1. Well, we're going to call it client comments. But first we need to do what they want done. So they said the following fields and data types and in the following order. You notice ID is already there, okay? And it's there as an auto number. So you don't need to touch that. What we have to do is add a new field here, all right? So this is for the second one. So it's not ID and auto number, it's comment date, which is date and time. So you start with the data type, date and time. So you look here for date and time. Date and time right here, click it. When you click it, now you're at the field name. It's defaulting as field 1, but we want to call it, we have to call it, let's see, comment date. So comment date, and as I told you in my 114-minute Access overview video, for field names, table names, form names, query names, we never use spaces. You are allowed to, but they're doing what I do. So in this regard, I'm happy with what they're doing here. So comment date, capital C for comment, capital D for date, and I've already made it date and time. So that one's done. Now I have to go to another new field, which is click to add, and this one will be comments as the field name and long text as the data type. So I click right here, okay, and long text is what I'm looking for right here. You start with the data type, then it'll say field 1, and then we add the name. All right, so comment type, data type, is long text. Now it says field 1, and we change that to say comments. It's done. All right, so now it is done, but we have to save the table. So now I'm going to click the save button up here in the top left. All right, so save it. Oh, they didn't want it that way. So file save as. Actually, let me enter the comments just to make sure that's entered. Okay, so now it's entered. It wasn't technically entered. So I'm going to see if I can do it with the save button, which should have worked. Otherwise, it'll be file save, obviously, but it's going to be this one. Yeah, so now when I click that, it now pulls up the save as dialog box, which you're all familiar with. It says save as table 1. What do we name save it as? Client comments. Again, no space, no space. So client comments all together, capital C for client, capital C for comments, and say OK. And that is done. All right. Next one. Excuse me. In datasheet view, up the client's table. Well, I talked a lot about datasheet view and design view in that access overview video as well. When you can see records, records go from left to right. So like a row is a record. So client ID 101 has a name, Energy Pro, that's the client name, a date acquired, a manager ID field, a phone number field, a street. All these are fields, but they're all for client ID 101. So all they're wanting me to do is say, change the date acquired to a date time field. So first of all, where's date acquired? Right here. So you click date acquired like that. Okay. Now we want to change that field name. Sorry, not the field name, but the date acquired to a date time. So now I want to go up here and say, well, where am I going to go to do date and time? First of all, I'll right click and see if that's a choice. Okay, so there's no, oh, that's rename. We don't want to rename the field. We want to change the data type. So that's nothing there. Okay, so I'm going to leave the selection though. And now I'll just go up to the fields, okay, and the ribbon. And now I want to make sure, now here it says short text is the data type. See, it's short text, data type. They said change it to date time. So click the down arrow and click the one that says date time. All right. But you had to first select the column, which was date acquired. All right. And again, so now it's saying in datasheet view. And by the way, I didn't say in the last one, but the other way to, so I said when you see records, these are all records. When you see design properties, then that's design view. But you can also click this down arrow for view, but don't click it again because that would then be a mistake. This is just verifying. You can see it's in datasheet view because that dark grayish back color behind the icon picture tells you you're in datasheet view, and it says in datasheet view. So we're there. So if you want to get rid of that, just click so it goes away, but don't click it to go away over here because then they'll think that you were doing something on that. All right. So rename the field name of the manager email address. So again, you click this one here. All right. And now they want me to rename it. So I can go up into fields or I can right click, okay, and rename the field. So when you have a choice, then it's up to you. I'll click up here in fields now, okay? And then I would want name and caption if I want to change the field name. But I like doing it, I think this is easier. So I'm going to say right click, rename, okay? And use the name email instead of manager email address. So in here, just delete or just type on it, can't type today, email, okay? And enter. All right, now we're on number 6. With the client's table in datasheet view, again, you see records. These are called records. So that means you're in datasheet view. If you want to verify it, you can click the down arrow and you see that the dark gray is for datasheet view. If I click design view, or even if I click datasheet view here, it might count it as a try. And we're not technically doing something with the view. This I just demonstrated to you again to show you if you don't know if you're in this view, that's how you can determine it. But don't click it to get it closed. Just click away. See, now it's gone, but you know you're in datasheet view again. Look, click datasheet view because it's got that gray background on top of it. So move away and you see datasheet view with the gray background. Then click somewhere, but not on a button. All right. Okay. Now, so they want me to now change the field size of the state field. So when I did this in the datasheet database build demonstration video, the 114-minute video, I demonstrated doing this from design view, which is really the easier way to do it. But you can do it from here. So you can go ahead and again, right click just to see if there's a choice. So there's no choice for resize, okay? So then go to click fields up here. And here you see field size. First, again, make sure you click on the right field. Like if I click over here in this one, it's not going to say it's wrong. But if I change the field size now to 2, then it would be wrong because that's the city field. They're saying change the field size up the state field. So make sure you click in state. You don't have to probably have it this way. If you'd prefer, you can probably just click like there. Okay. But I'm doing it here just in case. All right. So click them all. Anyway, here's field size. And I'll just get rid of the 5, leave it as 2 and enter. Now it's telling you. So click yes when warned about some data being lost. What this means is if there happen to be more than 2 characters in any of these fields, which there's not, but if there was 3 or 33 or 13 or whatever number of characters, what this means is if you then change it to a field size of 2, like I've done up here, then obviously you're going to lose any data that's beyond 2 characters. So it says accept that, click yes. And save the table. Save the table. So I'll click the save button up here on the top left side. Save. Done. Number 7. In datasheet view, are we in datasheet view? You should know we are. These are records, not field sizes, not whatever. This is datasheet view, but again, you can click the view button. Oh yeah, it's datasheet view. It's got that gray background. Don't click it again though, then click over here somewhere, but not on a button. Okay, now add a new field named notes with the long text data type. Well, we have a field called manager ID. We have a field called first name. We have a field called last name. We have a field called email. Again, in my demonstration video, demonstrating how to build a database and to manage a database, I said, in my opinion, I do everything from design view. It's easier, but you can do it from datasheet view. And they're telling us to do it from datasheet view. So obviously you see here, it says click to add. So I'm going to click to add right there. And they want a new field named notes, but with the long text data type. So I've got to click long text. And then just like in task 2 or 3 or 3 and 4 here earlier in this particular module, I had to add fields over here and rename them. So now field 1, they want it named notes. Okay, so get rid of field 1 and call it notes and enter. Done. All right, number 8 that I'm going to do here. And by the way, in here, there are 35 tasks. So this is my 8th one, which is what I demonstrate to you guys. So in datasheet view at the client's table, are we in datasheet view? Yes, we are. If you don't know, click over here. Or you know what? You can also right click and say, no, you can't. Sorry about that. So now again, I got to click away carefully. Okay, I'll leave it there. All right, so datasheet view, but if you want to see it, even though we are, again, there's the gray background. Get your cursor away from these two so you know which one is selected. And you see datasheet view has the gray background. All right, enter address as the caption property for the street field. I demonstrated this in the database build demonstration example as well, but I didn't do it from datasheet view. Again, I did it from design view. So in datasheet view, that's where we are. Enter address as the caption for the street. So click the street field, meaning the column, so it's selected. And now I want to go to the caption. So again, it's in the fields, okay? And here's name and caption. Click name and caption. It says street, and you see up here it is street, all right? But they want us to add a caption called and put the caption as address. So I did it in design view. Now I'm demonstrating it in datasheet view because that's what they're telling us to do. And that's it. So just say okay. All right. So there's 8 tasks for the first module training. I demonstrated for you. All right. Now I'll go to module 2. Training. All right. Start again. Make big again. All right, so now there's 30. So 35 and 30 is 65 so far. All right, create a new select query in query design view using the client's table. So they tell you to use a particular table when they want you to create something. You go to the left over here in the all access objects and see if you have to do anything. Well, it's saying based on using the client's table. So this is clients, it's already selected, so that's fine. So now we click the create button, okay? and they want a query. And again, I demonstrated this in the overview video. So I said there's a query wizard, query design. They want us using query design. So click query design. Okay. I demonstrated this 2 or 3 times. So now they're saying using the client's table, all right, including the. So this is the client's table. You can double click it, boom, boom, and it pops up over here. Or you could have just physically clicked it and dragged it, all right? But that's the only table they want, all right? So I'm going to close that now. And now over here, I have to then use it. I want to pull this up a little bit. No, they don't let me. That's fine. All right. So they want me to create a new query using this table and then including certain field names and in this order, in that order. So client name is first. Just double click on client name, boom, boom, and it'll pop up in the first field down here. Okay. Then click, double click, I should say, city. Here's city down here, boom, boom. See, it's the second now, second down here. Client name, city. Next, state. Boom, boom, states there. It says run the query and then save it with client locations. So run it is this run button over here, the red exclamation mark, run. And that's the results. You have client name, you have city, and you have state. And these are the results for that particular query. And they say save the query as client locations. So I'll hit the save button. Okay. And then type client locations. And I said it already a few times. Don't put any spaces unless, of course, if it's on the exam and you see client space locations, then you do it. But you got to be careful here, right? And I said normally we, meaning database people, don't normally like to see spaces. So C for client is capitalized, L for locations is capitalized. The 2 words are looking like one. Capital C, capital L, say OK. Done. That's number 1 in module 2. With the clients by state query open in design view. Again, I demonstrated this in class in that video. Oops, I didn't even pay attention to what that thing was doing. Let me go back to that one. I mean, I got it right, but. Okay, so they wanted me to, and I didn't look. See, I had mentioned to you also in my video, though, the access demonstration video, that when I pull tables over to the query, and they're then going to let me create, a query from the tables I've selected. You see how this one's got some spaces. Like if I use this one to scroll up and down, you see there's spaces. So I can't see zip and I can't see state there. So they're just saying they'll resize it so that all fields are visible. So even though I wasn't really looking at what the answer was, I just like to make these so that there's no, no hidden fields. And that's what I did, and it just happened to be what they wanted done. Anyway, all right, next one. Query design view, add an ascending sort. So again, this is query, this is design view, because here's the fields on the bottom. When it's record, datasheet view, that's where you see the records, right? All right, anyway, they want an ascending sort order to the last name field. So here's last name field, and here's the sort. We demonstrated this in an earlier training, not training here. I demonstrated this also in that same 114-minute video I did in class on July the 11th. But I'm going to click this sort button here, all right, sort field, in the last name field, it says. So I'm in design view. I want to add an ascending sort. So you click the down arrow for sort, and you want ascending. So click ascending, and make sure it's for the last name. It says last name field. So you got to do it here, not here, not here, not here. So done. And then it says run the query. That again is the run button on the left side of the ribbon, which is a red exclamation mark. Done. All right. Next one. In query design view, yes, I'm in design view. And by the way, you can also do design view the same way here that I did with the data sheet view. You see, now we're in design view. It's got the gray background. See, when I take the cursor away, gray background. All right. Click so that that thing disappears, but don't click on it. Otherwise, it'll charge you with one try. All right. So add the zip field from the client's table as the last field in the query. So there's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields in the query. So, and the way I told you to do it in my other video is to just double click on the fields and do it as long as you do it in the order they want, then they'll end up in the right order at the end. In this case, they've already built the query, but now they want to add one more field, and it's the zip field. So if I double click it, it'll automatically go to the next available field. So in other words, that's the proper way to do it. But if I prefer, I could single click on it and drag and put it right here. Just click right there in the field, and it would do it that way too. But the easy way, just double click zip, boom, boom, it's done. All right. In query view, off the clients by state query. So you know by now we're in query view. There's the fields on the bottom. There's the tables on the top. So that's design. Here it shows that we're in design view. All right. Delete the first name field. So here's the first name field. So click into it, right? Click into it. And you see the delete columns up here on the ribbon? So just click delete columns. All right. And even though it's only one column, but that's the button says delete columns. It was only one, so we did one. All right. Now add criteria to the clients by state query. So again, clients by state, and we're in the design view, but here they're not talking about whether we're in design view, so it's okay. But so the criteria is, there's a criteria row you see right here. There's a word criteria. I'm on the bottom of the screen. So if I want to do criteria for client name, I would do it in this field. If it's for state, in this field. If it's for state name, in this field. If it's for city, in this field. And if it's for this, what they call, parameter query, in this field. All right. But they're saying, so where the state field value is Texas. So here is state. So go to criteria in the state and type TX in caps, because they did it in caps. Okay. Run the query. Done. All right, done. All right, number 7. So 2 more to go in this one. In the client list query, so I'm in the client list query, and you know this is data sheet viewer. You should know, because these are records. That's the results. Okay, they just want me to switch to design view. So I can probably right click on it and click design view. But you saw me over here click a whole bunch of times where I said then don't click it. But here, just because I said don't click it, now I'll click it. Because in this case, they do want to go to design view. So you can right click or click the arrow and then design view. All right, so that's number 7. Last one for module 2 training. I'm going to bring this down. Hopefully that's not the task. It's not. All right, in design view of the client list query. Okay, so here again is design view, because here are the fields on the bottom, the table on the top. So we're in design view, but if you don't know that, click there. You see design view's got the gray background. So yeah, that's where we are. All right, add a criterion. Remember that's, so if you see the word criteria or the word criterion, it means criteria. So using a wildcard character to the client name field. I demonstrated this in my access demonstration video that I played in class on July the 11th as well. So here's the client name. All right. So you go to criteria, and I told you that a wildcard is just an asterisk. So they want me to do this in design view of the client list query, add a criterion using a wildcard character. Wildcard character means the asterisk, which if you remember from Excel is the multiplication sign or symbol. Okay, the asterisk. All right. Okay, so they want me to select values of any length that start with the letter M, then run the query to display it. So first again, are we in the right one? Client list query? Yes, we are. Are we in the right field? Client name? Well, we got to go to client name. There's client name. Go to criteria. Type capital M and then an asterisk, which is the wildcard. M asterisk, and run it. That's what they said to do. Done. All right, so now I've finished 2 modules of training, and it's probably been about 32 minutes or so. Try to speed up just a little bit. So that's number 1 and number 2. Now module 3. So I think I said 35 and 30 is 65. So now I hit the start button here. 44. So 60 and 40 is 100. 5 and 4 is 9. So this is 109 tasks now, and there's still 1 to go. All right. So create a new form based on the manager's table using the split form tool. So you got create, which is going to be create up here. Form based on something, it says managers. So see there right now on client orders. So I'm going to single click on managers. That means you don't double click, single click. Single click, that means they want to create a form. So we're going to do the create button, but to create a form based on this table. Okay. I also demonstrated this in the video, the access demonstration video. Anyway, all right, so I select managers, and now I'm going to click create, and then in the forms, there's a whole bunch of forms, though. The one I demonstrated in the class last night was this first form. This is an auto form that literally creates itself in 1 second, but they all pretty well do. So, but they're telling me they want a split form tool. So it's not this one, 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 it's this one. More forms, split form. Boom. All right. All right. Oh, and then save the form with the form name manager split form. So again, click the save button and type. See, they already got managers. In this case, I'll just get rid of the S. So now it's manager split form. Capital M for manager, capital S for split, capital F for form. But if you did it the way, or if you do it the way I just demonstrated, make sure you delete the little s from managers to make it manager split form. Say okay. All right, so that's now we're on number 2 in module 3. So with the client entry form in form view, again here you click the down arrow, and you see now with forms there's more views, one of which is form view. So you see we're in form view because it's got the gray background. So again, click there again. All right, so we're in form view. Use the current record box to display the 8th record. Well, here's the current record. We're on record 1 of 14. So I can click this next, this button here is next 7 times to get to the 8th record. But they said use the current record box. So this is the current record box. So I selected the 1, I'll delete the 1, I'll type 8, and now I'll just tab. Oh, no, so they didn't want me to do it that way. So let me just click the next button. Okay, so next until you get to 8. All right. What I did, though, should have worked, but that's all right. All right, next one. With the client entry form in form view, so here's the view. Form view is selected. It's got that gray background. So I'm client entry, navigate to the last record. Okay, so here's the first record, 1 of 14. This is the next record. This is the last record, the greater than, and then a vertical line. Last record, click it. Done. All right, number 4. With the manager's table open in datasheet view. Datasheet view means record, so that's where we are. Click the view button if you don't know. Yeah, datasheet view. All right, so use the find and replace tool to find Brian in the first name field. So they're telling us a field again. So they're telling us 2 things. 1, they want us to find something. Well, 3 things. 1, find something. 2, replace that something with something else. And then they're telling us which field. So first name. So you got to click the first name column. All right, so you have to click this part. So I've done it. Now the find and replace tool obviously is up here. You have your find, and there you have the replace. So you can actually start it with replace, but I'm going to start it with find just in case. So I'm going to click find. So now they're saying find what? And they're saying Brian with a Y. So I type Brian with a Y, and then they're saying replace it with Brian with an I. So then click replace. Okay, so there's find what Brian with a Y, replace with what Brian with an I. And remember, current field is already selected, so that's why we don't have to change this, but we did it up front. Okay, so that's first name, and then just say, let's see, to find and replace. So click replace. Done. Why didn't it replace it with Brian? Okay, I did. They didn't say to shut this down. I'll just tab, see if that does anything. All right, I'm going to click cancel. I don't see a save. But Brian has already been changed, replaced with a Brian with an I. The Brian with a Y is gone. You see over here, so it's okay. But I'll just say cancel then now. Okay, so done. All right, so remember after you do that, then you cancel. Okay, in the clients by state query and data sheet view, again, this is record, so this is data sheet. Use the find tool. Okay, we're finding again. Find the first record with Houston in the city field. So click the city field, all right, and find Houston. Right. So they're saying the first record. So here's first with Houston. Okay, then there's a second with Houston, a third with Houston. So they want to find the first. So click find next. And there it is. So we found it. And I guess again we cancel. So remember you got to cancel. I don't know why we have to cancel, but anyway. All right, number 6. 3 to go. With the client entry form, oh, now we're doing another find. So all right, now we're in a form and we're in form view, but just in case you don't know that, see again, you see form view is selected there. So click the down arrow. All right, so we're there, but they're saying find tool to find the first record with Detroit in the city. So again, here, click the first record, okay, or the city field, I should say, and maybe click at the beginning of the city field. So I'm clicking to the left of the capital letter H. And this is the first record. It says record 1 of 14. So use the find tool to find the first record with Detroit in the city field. Anyway, so go to find and just type Detroit and find next. It's obviously going to be on this form, on this whatever. So it found the first one, and now it's gone to find another one. Okay, because we already had Detroit when we run the first record. I think we did anyway, but it doesn't matter. It then did this, so we did it, and all we do now again is cancel. All right, that's number 6. Number 7. In form view of the client entry form. So here again, client entry. For sure, this is form view, but click the down arrow if you want to verify form view. Click away. All right, change the city from Houston to Austin for the first record. All right, I'm on the first record. It says 1 of 14. So just double click the city of Houston and type Austin. Probably enter. Oh. I guess tab. Okay, so you get a tab. So again, you need to pay attention, and obviously remember you have to observe and practice. And I'll probably use, I'll probably use observe or practice once or twice. Anyway, now I'm on the 8th one. So this is the last one of module 3. All right, using the client entry form, this is client entry form, delete the client ID 101 record. So here's client 101. I want to delete the whole record. So here's the delete button, delete record. Columns blanked out, but delete record. You're about to delete one record. It didn't say there will be a yes, but that's okay. Say yes, accept that, done. All right, so now I've done modules 1, 2, and 3. Now I shall go to module 4. All right, we read 109, I believe. So start. 34, and so 134 plus 9, 143. All right, so there we go, the new most. All right, close the client orders table. Well, this is nice and easy. So there's only one thing open, right click on it and close. Boom. All right, next one. Clients by state report in design view. This is design view. So if you want to click the view button again, design view. All right, add state as a grouping field. Here's state, okay? So click state, add it as a grouping field. So here's grouping and total, and here's group and sort. So click group and sort. Let's see, we want to add a group. So click add a group, and we want it to be state. So click state, done. All right. So again, let me shut that up. All right. Let's see, number 3 now in module 4. Okay, in report design view. So again, we're in design view. Okay, that design view. All right. Add client name as an ascending sort order. So here, sort again. Right. But this time add a sort, not a group. So click add a sort, and they want client name. So client name, done. All right. Next one. In the client orders report, switch to report layout view. So we're in a report. Okay. Let's see which view we're in. We're in the report view. They want us to be in the layout view. Layout view. Click. All right. Number 5. 4 to go. Create a navigation form with the tab arrangement of vertical tabs left. All right, so create. Now, so navigation forms are different. What they basically are is they're like a menu. So, and they're really cool. I used to do these a lot in my, when I used to do advanced access in the MindTap program. We used to have access in our, I forget what it was called. Oh my God. CGS 1540, I think. Anyway, we changed it up. But so so this will basically create a form with a bunch of buttons, okay? And you can actually have different things. Sometimes you can have buttons, sometimes you can just have regular links, but a button is in effect a link. So with a bunch of buttons to then click, like if I wanted maybe on my navigation form to have a tables button, I could click tables and then put these 4 tables on it. Then if I want to have another button for queries, another button for forms, another button for reports. So it's really, really cool. It just dresses it up and it's easy to do, but it makes you look really, really professional or sharp. Anyway, create a navigation form. So here we go, create. And remember with forms, I said there was a lot more choices. Okay, so we want a navigation form. So here's navigation with a down arrow. And we want tab arrangement, vertical tabs left. Vertical tabs left. Click that one. Done. All right, 3 to go. Number 6. In report design view up to clients by state report. Here's design clients by state, and we're in, well, we're in both design and layout. Report design view, add the page header and page footer sections. I think it must not matter, but I'll find out soon enough. I don't know why we're in. I think some of these maybe, and I don't do a lot of stuff with design ever, other than designing queries. I'm very big in using the design view, but for forms I'm not. I'm not like the type that makes everything the most pretty. I just get it to work. Anyway, so they want a page header and a page footer. Well, you see there's a report header and there's a report footer. If I right click on the header line, just right click up here, you'll see page header, page footer. So let's see what they want. Page header and footer. So page header, footer. Done. All right, number 6 is done. So 2 more to go. In report layout view up to sales by region report, add sum totals to the sales column. All right, so again, let's see where we are. We're in same one where it's got layout and design. Okay, that's all right though. All right, now, so they want us to add sum totals. So here's totals, okay, but it's not accessible right now. That's because to get it, we have to do something. And I think we had to be, let's see if I select it this way now. Select this. Okay, so in this case, I've just clicked on one of the numbers. I clicked on the 180,950 field. But when I clicked on it, let me click up here to get away again. See, if I click on just on this one field, it then selects all the fields. Watch. I don't know why, but that's what it did. And now you see totals is available up here. So click the totals down arrow and we want sum. And what that'll basically do is put a sum underneath this thing. Sum. Okay. Done. Number 8, the last one. In report layout view up to client orders report, apply bold formatting. All right. Well, gee whiz. All right. So basically, if I just double click on this thing here, select that text, and there is bold, is it? No. Let's see, home. Here's my bold. All right, here. Okay, bold. Done. All right. So that's 32 tasks. I hope you learned a lot. Have a great day. I'll see you on Wednesday, July the 13th. Have a great day. Go back over here. Stop my recording. Talk to you later. Professor Maloney over.